Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, people of the internet, welcome back, man. It is Tuesday, April Fool's Day. Happy day to you guys. This is Kyle Evans out of Baton Rouge, Louisiana. Maps coach, bold coach, all the things. And boy, do I have a treat for you today. All treats, no fools, no tricks. Guys, every now and then in my travels in the wild, I have an opportunity to meet some really cool people. And some of these people, they stick with you. They just stick in your noggin, they stay in your world, and you just get to kind of be a awesome cheerleader as they go and take on and grow businesses and build people up. And this person is one of those people. This guy is a dad. He's a leader. He's fit. He's what I like to call a silver fox. He's building a great business, man, with awesome people inside of it. He's a standout dude, like for the people in his brokerage too, and just could not have had such a good experience a few years back in the bull room without this dude in it. And just watching how he continues to show up for his team, himself, and his family is awesome to watch, man. So, ladies and gentlemen, let me put the brand on here. Out of the great state of Texas, we have Doug Duncan here today. Doug, good morning, buddy.
What's up? Good morning. Good
How
morning.
are you,
That
bro?
brand looks awesome on you,
Isn't
man.
it good?
I'm
Look
just
at
really
that.
glad. I'm really glad that whenever you left here, you left with a DRG hat.
You know, for this moment, we
That's
didn't
right.
know when,
I
but
had no
for this
idea. I
moment,
had
here
no
it
idea.
is,
I'm just
dude.
glad you
Here
kept
it
it.
is.
Yeah.
Oh
That's fun.
man. So, Doug, I get to the pleasure of knowing you. For all the people out there in the interwebs who do not know you yet, give them a quick bio, man. Who are you? How did we get here?
Yeah. Dad of two teenage daughters, and a
Bless it.
husband of 20 years this June. Praise God for that. And so, yeah, and we have a little real estate team at Keller Williams. I'm in Lubbock, Texas. So, if you've been, west of Dallas or Abilene, you've run into a desert known as Lubbock. And we are, home of Texas Tech Red Raiders. Elite Eight should have been Final Four, but it is what it is. We have a great little team here. We actually started Duncan Realty Group in March of 2020 when the COVID, surprise happened, and so fortunately have had a really good 5 years. And so we have three salespeople, a couple of admin folks on our staff, and we have about 150 transactions a year is kind of where well, it's the ceiling we've been hitting. If you're asking like what are your ceilings? So we're hitting 150 transaction ceiling, per year. So, but yeah, man, we stay pretty busy. So
One would say that. By the way, guys, if you're doing math at home, three salespeople, 150 transactions ain't nothing to shake a stick at, especially in the sprawling
that's right.
metropolis of
That's right.
Lubbock,
Yeah,
Texas.
that's right. Yeah. We have about 4,500 transactions in our entire market every year, and it's a great little community to live in. That's for sure. Lubbock's been good to us. I'm actually from the Hill Country of Texas, Bernie, San Antonio area originally, and moved out here in 2007, and so it's been a good move.
That's what's up, dude. Look, Doug, there's so many people out there who hear impressive stats like that and they're just like, how? Right? 4,500 transactions, capturing 150 of them. Man, you got people in areas that are doing 20,000 transactions and can't capture 50 of them. So,
Yeah.
like, what are some of the pillars? Like, what do you guys do well? I know what they are, but what are
Yeah,
some
yeah,
people?
yeah. We, well, we try and call 100 people a week, but that doesn't always happen. We have, I would say, we're pretty entrenched in the community. I mean, our people are, working out at local gyms. They're, part of local services. They volunteer on committees. We're involved in at the city level. We, hang out. We want to know what's going on really everywhere. So we are, yeah, really involved. Of course, we all have kids here for the most part, so we're all plugged into their soccer teams and softball teams and volleyball teams and football teams. And so as a result, we are just entrenched in the community. So we have probably 60% of our business really comes from sphere of influence. And so, yeah, it's pretty obvious that, we stay connected, over here. So, and it's taken a little while. I mean, it didn't happen all at once.
Sure.
We are really kind of grew organically. Uh, People have asked like, man, Repeat business, if you're trying to grow your repeat business, it's for sure in those ambassador corners, people who are willing to kind of go to bat for you and, enjoy, with the brand you represent, that sort of thing. So,
Nothing to unpack there at all, Doug.
yeah,
Wow.
yeah,
So
yeah,
you guys have really embraced kind of being the mayor of your database and kind of being the local economist of choice. And from what I hear, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, it sounds like you do that from, I don't know, this random thing called showing up.
yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah, we do. We show up and, we also, do weird things like, buy insane, birthday gifts for people who have, big birthdays and we make a spectacle of it. And, we join podcasts like this and we're just wrapped up into, yeah, a lot of the people's lives that are around us, we also pray for people and we also
Mm.
look after those people who, when you find out your neighbor has cancer and you have, there's just countless things to be present in, and so I think it's more than just uh, checking in to see if someone knows anybody looking to buy or sell real estate, but really, caring about your community, caring about the assets that they own and the equity they're building. And I think once that kind of this like tipping point of, man, Doug and his team really care about, what is my life and my wealth that I'm trying to build, yeah, it multiplies.
Dude, you're getting me pumped up over here, Doug. I stand on this soapbox and preach this message 24/7. So I'm glad that you're saying it too. Guys, people don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. Doug
Mhm.
is not in the real estate business. They are not. They are in the relationship business. And
Yeah.
because of that, they have a perennial powerhouse of success. Ooh.
Yeah, thanks, man. We are that really 2020 was when that happened. I was on these pivot calls with Keller Williams, and they were talking about making care calls and this like theme of checking in on people. I mean, are you, stuck in your house? You need groceries. Yeah, this was like the theme of everything we were doing to make all these calls, and yeah, so the theme of everything we do now is that same thing. How are you guys doing? Do you need anything? Is there a remodel going on at your place? Do you need connections, from electricians to roofers, and everything in between? So yeah, we kind of stand in the gap of you own this asset, but you really don't know how to manage it. And so we want to be your asset manager.
So is it fair to say that you guys do way less hard selling and a lot more just coming from value like that?
100%. Yeah, we want to be like in the conversation long before there's a need to buy or sell real estate. I want to be involved when the solar panel guy shows up at your front door to sell you solar panels. I want to be involved in hey, we're thinking about adding a master suite to the house, converting our garage, buying the lot next door. Like I want to be involved in all those conversations, and like it or not, that really, if the agent does have the fiduciary of the person owning the real estate, then that really should be where you start.
Yes. Like, hey, it sounds like you're doing um the thing where anything that involves any piece of home services, the home, transactions, improving equity, that you're their first call. You're Angie's List. You're
I'm Angie's
Google.
List. Yeah, that's right.
Nice,
Yeah.
dude. Nice.
Yep. Teach me how to Dougie. That's what we call it around here. You want to know how to do it right, just teach me how to Dougie. Contact me and I'll show you how to do this well. Don't paint the inside of your house green and blue and pink. Like, or if you do, just keep a reserve bucket of paint because when it's time to do business with me, we're gonna have you repaint it. You know.
I am just still reeling over the dad-tastic teach me how to Dougie statement.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's live show, ladies and gentlemen. This is the
That's
good
right.
stuff you
That's
get.
right. Yeah.
Cool, man. Awesome. So, what if you could like give some people a few tactics on that? Because that's you've become what I like to say a master or on the journey of mastery in that relationship building. How does someone kind of lean into that? Like, what are some good ideas that they could go about?
So step one, I believe, is equity. This conversation is really all about equity. So if you're really trying to grow the real estate business, you have to focus on the people that follow you, like what their equity is in the real estate they own.
Mm,
So starting with all the owners is really, really important, as in making a list of the several hundred people that you know that do own an asset, and in many cases someone else sold it to them. It doesn't really matter. What
sure.
you're trying to provide them is like, hey, what's the value of this thing that I bought? And but all the way down to like, how much equity do I have? I mean, if I have a loan on it, how much do I, if I did get sick and I needed to draw out a ton of cash to do some kind of treatments for something, how much equity are we talking about? So I think that's really where the conversation starts.
So you
Um,
would just cold call someone in your database and just be like, "Hey, man, been
yeah.
looking at your equity, brother."
Hey, yeah, no, I would say we start with like, I have software that delivers people's home reports to them monthly, and I would be failing at my job if you didn't at least know that I have this available. I pay for it. It's several $1,000s a year. You don't have to pay anything. We would love for you to be on the list. That way you can keep a monthly tally on like what your equity is doing and how much wealth you're building as a result of owning this home. So would it be okay if I added you to the list? And I mean, I haven't had anybody say no yet.
Why would they?
Yeah.
Why would they to that? Ladies and gentlemen, go back, rewind, watch that, write it down, tattoo it on your brain. Doug just gave you a peek behind the curtain of how to have that equity conversation. So they're like, "Hey, Doug, love that. Thank you for thinking of me. Put me on that list." What happens next, man? Is there like a reach out in a certain amount of time or like what goes?
Yeah. Well, I mean, we're adding those same people to the lists of like invitations to, homecoming tailgate games at your local sporting event. They're getting invited to, we have there's actually a local boxing phenom that is going to be on TV. And so we're having this event in 2 weeks, and we're inviting people to that. We're doing a cornhole tournament in May to raise money for a local organization, and so those same people get invited. That list continues to grow. We're not just trying to inform them of their equity, but we're trying to include them in a community of people who kind of all care about a lot of the same things.
Mm. Mm. So, one, we're plugged into the community, so we have events, know of events, maybe even are hosting events. Two, we're reaching out about a value pitch for equity. And then we have the awesome way of being able to just come from contribution and invite them to stuff to be in their world. Am I hearing you right?
That's right. Yeah, that's right.
Wild. Man, that sounds terrible. That sounds like terrible
Yeah.
phone call legion. Just, ugh.
Well, I think the problem is like I wish I'd have done this a lot sooner, because there
Mm,
was a time whenever it was, hey, I know I need to lead generate for my business, but not really knowing where to start in a place of value, like as in there wasn't people around me who were doing that. So I was struggling to kind of glean off of other people. I mean, Keller Williams has a great community, and there's people talking about it, but I'm talking about like someone in your backyard who's like doing this sort of thing. We seem to be pioneerish. There's other people that do things like this all over the country, but you'd be amazed at how few people in my community actually, do that sort of thing. So I don't know. I wish I would have started it sooner. So.
mm. Well, I know what I'm going to be doing today is looking at our event reach out schedule and seeing about upping that sauce because it obviously works.
Yeah. HomeBot, Home IQ. There's another one called Scout Real Estate, Scout, something like that. There's other, platforms. Keller Williams, in Command has some, community like the activity as far as like what's going on in the neighborhoods, neighborhood update, that sort of thing. But I think all of those really kind of need to be pointed towards like that person's property, and how that property is performing. So.
Mm. So we have the value of the money in their pocket. We have the value of connection, getting plugged in, maybe giving back to their community, enjoying the people around it. Is there any other thing that you guys do to continue to crush it? Because, man, that database play is strong.
Well, we spend a lot of time and money on social media. I mean, we provide a lot of video content for people to watch. So every day is full of content, and so we're trying to spend our days capturing that content. So everything from the drama on a real estate deal to I even went on an appointment on Sunday and 2 days ago, and but leaving the appointment, made a video because the truth is this guy that I met with is kind of running into the same problem that everybody else is running into. So we put a video out. So we put a lot of video content out there, and I'd like to do more. Really, if I could spend more time doing video content, I would.
So guys, unpack this, write it down. He's running all of these plays and all simultaneously touching the database, because all this is being an emotional proximity of people for when it comes time to buy, sell, or invest in real estate, through having them know their equity, through being a vendor partner. So anything that goes with their house that they want to do, they're thinking of you, through plugging them into the local community, giving back to the local community, coming from contribution with just invites to things that are happening around the area. And then the last play to tie a bow on all of it, running social media. So now, AKA marketing, is happening in front of their eyes all the time. And if you have not had the pleasure yet of watching some of Doug Duncan's social media, you'll see that he leads with personality, which builds a natural affinity, which builds a natural attraction to people wanting to work with who he is. Doug does a really good job of being a person who sells real estate, not a real estate agent who sometimes pretends to be a person.
Right. Yeah, it's true. Yeah, it's true. And I think there's a lot of other people who kind of they're really apprehensive. Agents especially are really apprehensive about being on camera just
Oh, yeah.
because I think either they don't have mirrors at home or they're lying to themselves about how they look, you know. But there's like I don't want to get on camera because I look fat. I'm like, well, you're already fat and everyone sees you now. So let's go ahead and get you on camera and start there, you know. But we're lying to ourselves about like what we look like, what we sound like, how people interact with us. And I think the message is like, they already see you, they already interact with you. Go ahead and make it known, you know. By the way, if you have people that are like doing business with you, that's a pretty good case for there's way more people who would do business with you. So like spread the word, you know.
Man, such a good point. That's one of the things, whenever we are working on video and coaching, people are like, I don't like the way I look. I don't like the way I sound. And to your point, I'm like, hey, I got news for you. That's the way you look.
That's the way you look.
That's the way you sound. Like, it's
Yeah,
just,
it's true.
you've been going through years of your life like that. It'll be fine to just show more people
Oh yeah,
who
yeah.
you are.
It happens to me too. I told my video guy, I was like, "Man, I look so stupid standing like that. Do I look? Is that how I look all the time?" He's like, "Yeah, that's how
Yeah,
you
it
look."
is.
I'm like, "Oh gosh, okay,
Great.
yeah,
Great.
great,
Well, that also, man, goes back to a deeper level of judgment on ourselves, right? Like,
yeah,
we have this just insane bar to jump over in our minds, but the truth is, anyone that we care about who would make a video, you'd be like, man, that's a good video. Hey, I
oh
like
yeah,
the way you look in that. And they're doing
yeah,
the same thing. Like, I look terrible. Do I
yeah,
do I
that's right.
stand like a big cotton-headed ninny mungans all the time? Like,
That's
why do
true.
I
Yeah,
look like that?
yeah, yeah, it's true.
Nice. I
Yeah,
think one of the things that you do on social media very well, is it's how do I say it? It's like edutainment,
thank you. I
right?
take that as a real compliment.
It
Yeah,
is. It's a
that's
real
exactly what we're
compliment.
going for. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah,
You do a good job of having fun, not taking yourself too seriously, but also you have a golden weave of information and value that you put in. It's not just, hey, I'm Doug and I play golf sometimes and cool shirts. It's like, how can I sprinkle
right.
value throughout?
Yeah, yeah. Well, fortunately, the algorithms and social media platforms are reinforcing the truth that it doesn't really matter how professional your videos are, because my most viral video that I've had, the camera's doing this, in my truck, and like 800,000 views or whatever. So I'm convinced that it doesn't really matter. In
Mhm.
fact, the more overproduced something is, the less people really like it. People want behind the scenes. They want to know like what's the real thing happening here. So
Guys, I want you to listen. This person is doing business at a high level. He's giving you the keys to the kingdom right now. Pay attention or ignore it at your own peril.
Yeah, it's partly why I've been doing videos like on my way from somewhere to somewhere, because I have this thought, and like this is the most natural state that I can deliver it in. It's like as I'm having it, as long as I can work through the ums and the ahs and that sort of thing through editing, I can deliver a really great video because the content is going to be there, you know.
Mhm.
So fortunately, platforms like TikTok and Facebook and Instagram, they have tools that make that a lot easier now than it was even a few years ago. So yeah.
Were you always good at video?
No, no, I wasn't always good at video, and I'm really praying that you don't have the very first video I've ever done, but they're out there. Yeah.
Queuing it up right now, ladies and gentlemen. I'm just
Yeah.
kidding.
Man, I've actually lost the login to that like YouTube account, and I'm like can't get rid of it. I don't really know how to do that. So anyway, and since like 2007, it's had 300 views, which is just clearly a very important video.
Yeah, it's the one the world needs, you
That's
know.
right. Yeah, it's true.
So, guys, I think, tying a bow on this, I'm going to title this in my mind, How to Dominate Your Database Like Doug. Teach me how to Dougie.
Teach me how to
Um,
Dougie. Right.
plug in to your local community. If you don't know events that are happening, start looking for them. If you're not plugged into a charity or volunteering, start looking for it. And then invite people naturally to stuff, not selling, just inviting them into your world, into relationship with you. Start with getting them proper equity. And if you want the conversation model, that rewind and watch the awesome one that Doug gave you. And then, man, guys, social media, stop taking yourself too seriously. I got a news for you. Nobody gets out alive. All
Yeah.
right. It's just not happening. So, Doug, man, the best thing I could think of to tell these people on this is just start, right? Like just start filming, just start doing it, just start shaking hands, kissing babies, maybe in that order, maybe not. What do you think?
Yeah, same. I, there's a there's a process to growth, and I love the idea of scalability. I like the involving large groups of people, but that doesn't happen right away.
No.
That you have to start with zero, and then you just have to keep growing that. And when you go from 0 to 2 to 2 to 7 and 7 to 16, we did thir $13 million in business in 2020 and did $44 million last year. That took 5 years to grow. So yeah, just it takes time. You just got to get started with what you have. You know.
Doug, thank you for sharing with us today, man. It's always a pleasure to be in your world, and I
Same.
will
Thank you, man. It's an honor.
continue to eat popcorn and watch all of your real estate videos. If you
Awesome.
could leave the people with one final thought from that beautiful Duncan Silver Fox brain, what would it be today?
People really do need to be led. Your
Mm,
database, the people who know you, and you have a place of authority as a real estate professional. If you're not in real estate and you're seeing this, like the truth is, you have an authority somewhere with a lot of people. And so people want to be led. So be certain about what you have and who you are and move forward and make mistakes. It's not going to be perfect, but people will follow an imperfect leader. And if you're in real estate and you have a database, they will listen to what you say. They want to know what your opinion is. They don't want to keep all of the real estate answers in their brain. They want someone to go to who does that. And yeah, they see you as an authority and a resource. So I would say start there. Yeah.
that was straight fire, Doug. I don't know how else to say it. Like, put that on a t-shirt, man. That was really, really good. Jeez. Ladies and gentlemen, now you can see why I like to keep people like this in my world, man. Just straight value, straight big heart, coming from contribution and being a leader to his family, to himself, to his team. And I trust after this episode to all of you guys. Guys, Doug Duncan out of Lubbock, Texas, the sprawling metropolis. Go follow him. Go
Thanks, Dan.
send him a referral. Send him a little notification
Appreciate
on
that.
the social medias. Doug, thank you, man.
Thank you,
Absolute pleasure,
Kyle.
buddy.
All right, buddy. Good to see you.
All right, guys. See y'all later. We'll see you tomorrow.
Take care.